after slashing out a sword. Then he turned to look at Tran Hung. Pay attention. He may have the body of an immortal jewel. Just now, the effect that my sword slashed. He is very poor. He gritted his teeth and watched them think. Why this world can exist so many people? Is it possible to intimidate a false leader like that? The false leader is here. What the hell did you do? As much potential danger as this, and still leave. He continued to tell Tran Hung. The celestial Buddha in the opposite crack. I don't know why. There is no sign of coming. Let's first bypass the Kier gap. Let's first stop this Arat. Waiting for him seriously. Eliminate all the hidden dangers in the city. Then they joined forces to try to kill him. Tran Hung heard and immediately nodded. When you can hear it, you laugh. Kill me, Sao. The ants don't know the sky. The distance between the chief priest and the mortals. It only takes a few more people to make up for it. What are you kidding? If it wasn't for the Hans. I don't want to be the supreme treasure. The kingdom here is killing. We used all our power. I've wiped out your ants. If this life could not be avoided, then the Arak is no longer hiding. Finished talking to him, he started burning fingers on the other hand. Then a hand crashed against the ground. The sixth finger of the Buddha. Close to the land. When the wind station saw it, it immediately reminded them. Be careful, the divine tricks that he wielded. Very paradoxical, compared to what we saw in King Ju. It's completely different. My mouth is talking right now. Close to the land. Sao. I seem to have heard the owner talk about this trick. What is it used for? Meaning there's no way he can remember it for a while. Tran Hung stared at the lake and said Ra. But there's also AI that has to take risks. To find out the enemy's intelligence. The wind station turned and glanced at Tran Hung. I see he wants to leave. Then Hand wants to stop. It's not our place. Tran Hung did not notice that he kept going. Very quickly a theme Loi came down from above. Straight up the tiger suit. You see the enemy without avoiding him. Tran Hung in the heart of terror. I don't want to avoid this. The wind in my heart also waves nonsense. Even though the body of the diamond is immortal, you shouldn't be so hard on the sky either. What is this guy thinking? The sky is showing signs again. Back into the cloud. Recovered at this time was beaten for the whole body burned black. He looked up at the two men. The fight is over. Then it's my turn. The other two saw that look of him. It's extremely confusing. My mouth is screaming now, I remember. Here's the trick that the Buddhas used to turn the bloodthirsty. Be careful at the top of your head, thunder is about to fall. When he remembers Ra screaming, that's when the two lightning rods hit. The two-turn HGG did not have time to react. Was struck by lightning. This blow is stronger than the Tran Hung blow. It has just been done several times, on the serious side at the same time. A round of the sea sword blood contest. It can only handle a third of the underground. Maybe the monks have transformed. And we're going to transform Kier. I'm an Iron Man. One sword cannot kill them all. Then use a few more swords. The gas in this wine is still full. Enough to wrestle a few more rounds. At this time, the sun appears with you. Seriously, look at what you did. Strictly see the radio frequency appear. The eyes squinted. The devil is nearby. I can't understand it in my heart. He is not. I used 5 demonic wind suppression techniques. Put it in the coffin. Why are you running out here again? This guy can't lock up Sao. They don't pay attention to their behavior. Look seriously, Hoa said. You keep saying that? I will not sacrifice a few for the good. But what did you do? You forced the lake to launch its final transformation. A cold look at the enemy. Calmly replied, because you know you have made the people of the city a means of revival. So new students can't help but suffer. To make this choice, he made the people of the city his heart and combat resources. Now turn your back on the moral ground. The Supreme Court criticizes students. The students are really surprised. When you hear that, raise your voice. This is a necessary sacrifice, and it's your unruly resistance. It's made their sacrifice meaningless. He said, two hands hidden inside his robe. They just kept pressing the law. Strictly Hoa, I didn't pay attention to this little gesture of his. Angry screams. The necessary sacrifice. You also deserve to talk about why. At this moment, the body suddenly trembled. It was as if I had fallen into a dream. If you can see that, whisper, you'll succeed. Frequency after that. He quickly glanced at the kneeling side. They have to be smart. I can't wake up in a short time. We can borrow this time warp to solve the demon master, Kier. But he still has not been able to lead the devil. Then, suddenly, the dog appeared behind his back. Give him a punch. Eat a punch of this, strictly Hoa. Body frequency without yang. It instantly turns into a pile of black ink that melts away. Looking at the squirt in front of you is hard to understand. Uttered his body. Line 8 first martial artist is made of SAO ink. Kier's ink pile quickly gathered up. After a while, the sun's rays appeared again. He looked hard and asked, how did you know just now? We will use magic. Smiling seriously. Guess the other side. Two Tran Hung people were hit by the electric shock of the restoration. I have lost my fighting strength now. Free fall in the air. Looking back at them, he said, the taste of being hurt by your own tricks. It's not pleasant. In the vicinity of our land, everything in heaven will suffer the same fate. The barbarians had to suffer a blow. You must also suffer with it. But the Brahmin has the immortal body of the golden panther. It's the same kind of trick. The sun can endure. But the mortals, you can endure the SAO. Even if there are people with the body of the immortal diamond. Read La Han. Then the Arhat. You can also use the second generation of gods to solve the murder of life. But what are you? You have lives to lose. He said he was looking at the glass in the distance. If not afraid, the supreme law of this dynasty. The Lord has already cracked down on you. Restoration is happening without even knowing that. It's not far away. Yang Qian is using extremely fast speed to rush. The tiger did not react. He was beaten by the enemy for a punch. This one punch from Yang Qian immediately makes the body giant of the fallen lake. Yang Qian stands on high, watching the enemy shout coldly. I've held you for a long time. Lie on the ground looking at Yang Qian inexplicably. Antarctica is not what you said. Will prevent the two Lang Gang or SAO. The South Pole immediately appeared next to him. If he gets angry, I will too. I helped you last so long. I have also been dedicated. Right now, next to Yang Qian, suddenly, there's a yellow spiral. Yang Qian turned to look back. Don't say much. Put your hands up. Hegemony of heaven. A thunderous punch straight into the Kier vortex. This one punch causes the vortex to instantly vanish. Yang Qian said a little contemptuously. Cross-border SAO. It's just that. Then he glanced behind him and called out. The dog heard him calling. Immediately appeared next to him. Yang Qian looked at him as deputy. Take all the people who live in this city away. When the black dog heard that, the body immediately became countless. The body then spreads out in 4 or 8 directions. Beneath the ground, black body sitting up hugging his head, said, "This time I almost got killed by you." Tran Hung is trying to sit up. Then suddenly discovered, there's a dog next door. The dog smells him. A moment later, they both disappeared in the same place. I don't know if I'm sitting there complaining. Tell me what the hurry is. We haven't finished yet. I don't see anyone responding. He turned his head to see where you were. Just turned around. The black dog appeared behind him. Wind induction stations are something that appears behind. When I came back, I touched my nose with a black dog. You can see from this angle. He gave her a passionate kiss. On this side, the lake stood up again. He looked at Yang Qian angrily. It's really bad luck that the two Lang gang. You don't have a brain. After this, there was the arrangement of 6 saints. We've been very clear. You're going to ruin the story of the 6 saints. Yang Qian coldly looked at him and replied that he was right. Wrong is wrong. If you marry 6 saints, you can change them to black and white. Sao today, even if there are 6 saints here. Our position has not changed. When he finished, he raised his hand to call on God. Color recovery, wrinkled face bite teeth say. This damn stubborn guy. And then again burning fingers. The 7th finger of the Buddha. Follow the call of Yang Qian. The sky fell from above like a storm. To shake a city. At the same time on the right side. He looked at his students laughing and wondering why. Haha, scenes in the enchanted Kai. It's not that easy to solve. But not at all. Pretend you found a way. Just to break the magic. But we still have another trick. Let me borrow some of your tricks. Around the Qin Yang immediately appeared a black sphere, yellow and red. The devil saw this and realized it is the entity of yin and virtue, volition and karma. He looked coldly at the two people opposite him. The first is chemistry. Karmic sphere. Immediately, there was a light fire towards the center of the devil. The devil saw that and immediately realized, this force is tracking. He quickly put his hand to his mouth. Bite, call out, real devil. At this time, the power of the wind is still on. What he did was a dream made. The demons are trapped by them, immediately foolishly fell into the scene. Blood is turned by karma. Quickly swept by, cut the devil's body in half. I saw the devil's body cut in half. The wind is a little excited. Solved one name. Right now, suddenly, the dog appeared next to him. Don't dream of becoming ink this time. My eyes are still extremely calm. Look at the enemy. The next thing he knows is that he can't escape. He was severely punched for a blow to the head. At the same time, the silver ball next to him immediately exploded. It's not far away in an alley in the city. A middle-aged man stood there. I see the power of evil. It's amazing to say. Even this trump card also brings out Sao. Look, the power of the sun has been pushed to the end. This man is a very wise man. Creator of the Tian Lao Pioneer and Spring School of Peace. Another in a cloak. The person next to him. Speak up now too. The radio is being pushed to the end. He's not your flag. In fact, the imam has not yet come to the forest, and he has fallen off the radio. It is the evil of this world. Name and temporary forte unknown. Li looked at the enemy. This is also unwelcome. With too many variables to capture. He cannot control the situation. And I'm trying my best to find balance. Red Earth Fairy Disaster asks again. So what's our plan? If there's no positive frequency, those real hypocrites, not ready to jump into the hole. Li Zuanshao seriously explained, those guys will definitely come. Even if you know there is an ambush, those firemen will still bite their teeth and take the blow. After all, there is competition between them. I can't fold my hands. Look at the people in the Kier kingdom who monopolize all the benefits. This battle is for both sides. Forced to hit, no, but turn the scene to the serious crowd. Right now, at the feet of the German beggar is slowly dying. It's not far away with a black body. I'm still holding my body tight. On the ground, the beggar looked at the scenery around the aesthetic. Even this trick has been forced out. Look at the painters over here. There's no more trump cards. Remember, the only reason why the eye has not been revived yet. The Lord Kier, I've got some of the power of the birth and death books. What's on this side? Frequency 2. I'm trying to get my hands off my face. It's not in vain. I risked my life to eat a deadly trigger of someone who is in a state of martial arts like you. Only if you cover it. Then we can avoid a large amount of negativity. Fire breaks out. Lucky to survive. He said, slowly get out of the hole. Next here is. But he didn't finish his sentence. Strictly burning black motionless front. Then suddenly he interrupted. Is to seal us with the forbidden arts. Before we rise again. Then you go to the Arhat, right? You can't believe it. You can't open your mouth. It is not true that you are not dead. It was just finished. Strictly fucking for a punch in the stomach. Frequency yin-yang mouth, spray fresh blood. Look at the enemy. The magic of the apple is indeed inhuman. We are at the peak. I can't afford this one either. But But before I finished, I interrupted again. But for the timekeeper. As students say. Just at the time of attack. Divide the damage for yourself. In the future. This one is no longer scary. He said there was a black burn on his body. Is also slowly peeling off. The sound of that sound is amazing. Division of lesions. Suffer for yourself in the future. It is impossible to dry the spring. There is basically no such use. If only I had that year. He seriously cut off the master. Your old friends can't do it. It doesn't mean students can't do it. The first person to realize that the world is at stake is you. But the first person to deny human ability is also the person, even though we have this defect. But in the face of despair, there are always people who can leverage willpower and power to change heaven and earth under the leadership of such a great man. We can overcome all obstacles. He became the head of all things. Master, you really despise humanity. The Lord is a little ridiculous to me. Despise humanity. Why do you think that AI also has the will and determination? Standing in front of the collapsed mountain. It doesn't change like Cao Thin. Why do you think that when life comes down, all the billions of ordinary people in the world, everyone will want to fight against the SAO foreign enemy. All they want is a way out. Our way is to give them a way out. Can you give them? Have you asked their opinion? Do you know what they want? It's not that AI has the courage and the will to combat the horrors of not. Where are you going to ask the weak to stop? Fear of the strong. The weak deserve to be caught by the strong. Open your eyes and see reality. The wind is screaming frantically. Then suddenly, he was severely gagged with his hands. I'm still opening my eyes, and I can see very clearly. Maybe it's what you said. For most people in this world, it is more painful to die than to rise again. But for your majesty, and those who trust you like us, Even if the sky falls, if we stand up, we will also stand up. Before we die, no one can bring them to their knees. The muffled radio can't say, Ra. But after you die, these people have a chance to get down on their knees. Right now, my body suddenly became stupid. The one who comes out is Chung kneeling. From above him, a dark light appeared. The shadow of Qin. He was captured by that dark light. After controlling the enemy, he spoke up. Don't bother you. Strictly replied. No, the devil stands up and throws his hand, and that's good. The devil is still alive. After being hit by a blow from Qin Wang Wen, it was because he was in time to use the devil instead. He avoided a life. He walked slowly to the serious man. I saw someone for the first time, but to the seal of the male senses, and the Black Panther can't imprison it. This person, if in a world that suits him, there may be a chance to go further. Yes, in the city, there's still a lot of underground piles that haven't been pulled out. Keep working on it. He glanced at him nonchalantly and said no. The devil's face was full of confusion when he heard that. Strictly quick to explain. I am not fit to work now. Requires this exact operation. Leave this to someone else. Another side recovers on the person covered with lightning. Laughing big ha-ha Jiang Ku to Lang. Your method. There's nothing you can do about me now. If you have any tricks, use them. Yang Qian lowered his face to look at the tiger. Thanks for the trick. Not afraid of thunder from the Sao being. But the limit of your 7 fingers is used up. I just need to force you to use more. 3 chances to burn the Buddha's hands again. Then there's nothing you can do. He said that the school also appeared in his hands. The tiger replied with no fear. The premise is, you have enough energy to maintain your body. It's not far away. 2 people, a dog is in an alley observing the battle. The mouth on the wind station's face spoke again now. As you have seen in the near future. Attacks aimed at the developer. It will eventually fall on my head. The wind station glanced at him and asked, cannot avoid Sao. For example, if we avoided the thunder just now. The mouth quickly responds. That thunder will continue to chase. The solution is now accepted in the near future. Is to rely on the incorruptible body of gold. Or use another technique to fight back. From there destroy each other. Chen Hong understood after listening to it. So this trick actually has a lot of limitations. It's just that the enemy has more Kim's body. It's become difficult to deal with. At this time, they are serious. A bottle of wine appeared behind 2 people. It's not a little difficult to deal with. He put the wine down and looked at the wind. The old man went to deal with the Arhat, Kier. Go and clean the underground in the city. Just say and press the law. 1 eye of the wind station. Immediately be strictly shared. The view is not far away. The lake and the ocean right now is still very aggressive. The lake just hid out. Yang Qian's body disappeared before his eyes. Yang Qian appeared again. He stood behind the tiger. Not allowing the tiger to recover, he gave the high school the sword. Then a decisive click directed the tiger down. The immortal body of the tiger. It can't be completely sustained. This one click, they were immediately stabbed by the executioner, and they screamed in great pain. The school later, he appeared again in the hands of the devil. In the sky, now the electricity has condensed down again. Very quickly, the electricity has turned into a great dagger. Identical with Yang Qian's direction, he